Susan Rice on Nicole Wallace. It's not enough to just watch TV and watch it all happen. Now, everybody, no matter where you're from. Now, my version is, because I don't know how specific she made it. And you know, what shall we do? What does the layperson who has a life, who's already spread so thin because they have people to worry about, they have everyday life, right? We all have everyday life. If we want a religious response from the left that unifies the left, bring out the religious scholars, the atheists. So, if we want to have a discussion about who actually lives a religious life and who actually has religious sensibility and religious reason, it's all on the left. And it's a strange reality, but I know that it's true because this is where I'm from. I know what goes on behind the pages of the books. I know what goes on in the minds of the professors. I would imagine that in the division between continental and analytic philosophy, there are many more card-carrying atheists on the side of analytic philosophy. Straightforward, card-carrying, physicalist, behaviorist atheists who just go straight forward, ordinary empirical science, the end. Religious belief is nice for those of y'all who it makes feel good, but leave the serious thought to the empirical scientists, right? We don't find such arguments coming from the humanities side of the left. We may very well find de jure arguments against belief and against dogmatism, but if you notice, the de facto, the presentation, the performativity of it, the performative act of an atheist expounding religious analysis shows us a whole chunk of the society that has tremendous knowledge that might very well be operationalized right now, were it just for the coherence, the minimal coherence conceptually required to tolerate Christian atheism. My proposition, I'll repeat it again, is that within the humanities, there are hundreds of professors and scholars and students who study the phenomenology of religion, the history of religion, and have very detailed readings. When Herr Professor Heidegger says that the gods have left us, it is a kind of lament. So even though we tend to think of Heidegger as an atheist, he's a religious mystic. Plain and simple. It's quite straightforward. The hut in Tottenauburg, is if I got the word right, Tottenauburg, the hut. How about John Caputo? John Caputo is a Heidegger scholar. He's also a scholar of Eastern religions. How about Cioran? Emile Cioran and E.M. Cioran, religious thinker. Tears of Saints. How about Kierkegaard? Religious thinker, 100%. He's even a straightforward believer, Kierkegaard. Go find me one Comp Lit student in the United States who doesn't love Kierkegaard. Do it. Go find me one. It'll take you a while. Anybody that dismisses Kierkegaard who's in Comp Lit in the United States, they're going to look like an asshole. I mean, they're going to look like an idiot, in other words. How about William James? The Varieties of Religious Experience. If you flip through the pages of that book, he even has a section on the phenomenology of nitrous oxide experience. How about psychedelics? How about dimethyltryptamine? How about ayahuasca? How about shamanism? That's not religion? Yeah, but how do you thematize the whole thing? It's called religious reason. Kant, read Kant. See, there's a lot from the 1960s of New Thought Movement, California New Thought Movement stuff, which is largely written off as unserious by philosophy. Well, I don't think that the individuals, lay people, people that were part of the movement in the 60s, I don't really think it's their fault. I mean, just because Timothy Leary and, Timothy Leary was like sensationalistic, and 9/10 of it was a lot of hot air. You got some good kernels of wisdom in there that plenty of people love. Religious wisdom. Religious wisdom without belief. It's mainly made of religious experience, first-person experience, an individual having religious experience. Plenty of atheists have that. That could even make you an atheist.